What is up, guys? Edman here to bring you my top 5 anime series all time. Now, disclaimer. This isn't particularly my top 5 in terms of these 5 are the best series ever. But this is more of a subjective view of series. This is more of a nostalgic top 5. Nostalgic, my favorites, and pretty much, yeah, just pretty much nostalgic and my favorites, top 5. It's not necessarily to say these 5, like number 1 is better than number 3, or number 2 is better than number 3, 4, and 5. What this is that this top 5 is just, I'm gonna just put it in this order. The orders don't specifically mean anything, but this is the order I'm gonna put it in. So number 5 to me could be better. There's moments in number 5 that could be better than number 1 and stuff like that. So it could be a mix. With that out the way, number 1, it has to go to DBZ. Well, Dragon Ball. Let me not make a mistake. Dragon Ball, because the series technically is Dragon Ball, and Dragon Ball Z is just the second part. So yes, Dragon Ball would have to be my favorite series, or my number 1 series of all time, only because of nostalgic feelings and also because of the story. I'm not trying to take anything away from the story itself. The story was a great story. My whole life, DBZ, like, it's pretty much been part of my whole life. It's not the first anime I've seen, but it's the first anime I've actually loved. I liked it a lot and was very into it. So I would say DBZ was my number 1 favorite series of all time. And like I said, I don't necessarily have a biased series or a series that I think is better than everything else. But at the same time, I think DBZ is probably my number 1 right now. Number 2 has to go to Rurouni Kenshin. Batu Sai himself. Rurouni Kenshin, man. In this series, I forgot when I saw Rurouni Kenshin. I actually forgot, but someone referenced the series to me, and at first I was iffy about it because at that time I was watching Inuyasha. I was watching Inuyasha and stuff on Adult Swim, so I didn't really see Rurouni Kenshin. But once I got into the series, and it was just epic. If you haven't seen Rurouni Kenshin, I'm not going to spoil it. It was very epic. If you haven't seen Rurouni Kenshin, go check it out. Rurouni Kenshin is probably my number 2. It probably would have been number 1 now I think about it. It should have been number 1 over DBZ. But that's irrelevant. Rurouni Kenshin is a very amazing series. You guys have to go check it out. The best comparisons I could give Rurouni Kenshin right now, would Bleach be the new school Rurouni Kenshin? I don't know. But that's irrelevant. Go check out Rurouni Kenshin. That's my number 2 favorite shows for nostalgic matters and because of the series and the story itself. Rurouni Kenshin. I think a lot of people know about it, but a lot of people don't know about it and they haven't even seen it. So definitely go check that out. Number 3 would have to go to Death Note. Now, Death Note was iffy because at first I didn't know anything about it. I heard about it, but I didn't really know that much about it. And when I went on the internet and I started looking at a couple episodes, this show, from an intellectual standpoint, from a spiritual standpoint for anyone who's spiritual, this show is pretty interesting. This show, Death Note, is probably the most interesting show that I think I've seen. It's very like, I haven't seen that much anime to say it's unique, because there's probably animes out there that's just like it. But Death Note to me is very unique. It's a very challenging series. So I think a lot of people will see Death Note for the first time and not even get what just happened. Like they will watch the series, and there are things that are so over your head in Death Note. The topic itself, I think it's over people's heads that they wouldn't get it. I actually saw Death Note twice or 3 times over. The first time, it was just because somebody told me to watch it, so I watched it the first time. Then I watched it again like a couple years ago, and Death Note was just amazing. It's definitely at my number 3 spot. Number 4 is gonna have to go to Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is by far probably one of the best series that I've watched. One of the most enjoyable series from start to finish. From start to finish, it was a complete package. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. There was times in DBZ where I was like, don't really like this episode. This episode was kind of corny. It was kind of whack. There was times in Rurouni Kenshin. Rurouni Kenshin also, from beginning to end, was actually a good series. I'm not gonna lie, but there was some iffy moments. There was like some iffy moments in Rurouni Kenshin. Now I might do a review on it because there was a little iffy moments, but not that much. It's probably like 1 or 2 episodes. And as far as Death Note goes, some episodes was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. Some episodes was kind of boring. It was iffy, but at the same time, it wasn't. But as far as my top 4 goes, yes, from start to finish, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood was probably a complete series. It was probably perfect from, well, I don't want to say perfect, but it was great from start to finish. Every episode was a good episode, if I'm not mistaken. Like, thinking back, every episode was a good episode. I don't remember an episode that was bad in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, this is not a biased opinion. This is not biased or saying that it's flawless. I'm not saying that it's flawless. It has its flaws. Every series has flaws. It has its flaws. But as far as episodes go, every episode was a C+ or higher. It was a good episode. Even though it had flaws, there was a good episode. I think Fullmetal Alchemist, if you haven't seen that series, from start to finish, was very exciting. There was sad moments, but from a good standpoint, every episode was a good episode in Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's not an episode that you're gonna watch where it's just boring. It's always gonna be exciting, and it's always gonna play on to the story itself. And very I don't know what word I would use, but just know every episode is good. And number five was hard because number 5, as far as animes go, it was like a 4-way tie. But the only 2 series that I'm gonna mention for the number 5 is One Piece and Cowboy Bebop. Now, the only reason why I'll put Cowboy Bebop at number 5 and not One Piece is because Cowboy Bebop to me was a more enjoyable series. I enjoyed it more. I like Cowboy Bebop way more. But that doesn't say that I don't like One Piece as well. Because, see, the thing about One Piece is that I just caught up to One Piece like last year. So I knew about One Piece, but I didn't really like it because when I saw One Piece, it was during the Foxy era. It was during that Foxy part. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I didn't really like One Piece. So I didn't even consistently watch One Piece. I would see episodes here and there because I didn't care about One Piece. It was irrelevant to me. But later, like, people kept talking about One Piece, One Piece, One Piece. Yo, the chapters are great. One Piece is getting better. Yo, check out One Piece. One Piece is great. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna check it out. So caught up with the anime, caught up with the manga, and One Piece is okay. I'm not gonna lie, One Piece is a good series. Now, I'm not like most One Piece fans that saying it's flawless, it's the greatest series ever, it's my top 5, it's my top 3, it's my number 1 series ever. One Piece is the best series I've ever saw. That's opinions, so I mean I have to ride with it. It's an opinion, but I don't have that opinion about One Piece because it's just that the pirate aspect is gonna be nostalgic, but the pirate aspect about One Piece, I didn't really care about it. It's cool, but I didn't really care about it. Naruto was much more appealing to me. I think One Piece would be at number 6, and Naruto would be at 7, or Naruto 6, One Piece 7. One of those 2. But it was a 4-way tie for number 5, but the rest just follows down on the list. It'll be like Naruto, it'll be One Piece 6, Naruto 7. Nah, Naruto 6, One Piece 7, as far as animes go. So, yeah, that's pretty much my top 5, guys. Leave your comments down below on what your top 5 favorite anime series is, nostalgic series, or you can even say my top 5 favorite series for 2013 or my top 5 for 2014. You could put it that way. So I'll see you guys in the comment section. I'm Edman.